This episode is cursed. Cursed, I say. It's been haunting me. It's all I can think about. That's not true. But it's being started over for the first time in the show's history. Sick of it. Here it is, everyone. Episode 100, Coast to Coast Pinball. Let's go. Oh, for crying out loud. Welcome to Coast to Coast Pinball. My name is Nate Shivers. This is a podcast, commentary, and I am a man out of patience with this episode. Ay. So I started thinking about episode 100 way back. Like around episode 75. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to one day, in the not too distant future, be at episode 100. And episode 100 needs to be awesome. It needs to be like pyro and fireworks and Steve Ritchie coming in on a zip wire and me blowing up a fishtails machine. And it's just been a pain in my side. Episode 100. So I take solace in the fact that episode 99 was technically episode 100. And this is technically episode 101, despite the title of it being episode 100. Welcome. Let's do episode 100, shall we? I will tell you that originally I had a interview planned for this episode. I was going to dedicate the entire show to one person, big name in pinball, and I was very, very pleased that was going to happen because it's someone who has not done a big, giant podcasty type interview. And I thought we were all locked in, and then change of heart, he decided he wanted to do the interview in person, and we're going to do that eventually, but it can't be episode 100 because it couldn't happen right now. So that's going to be a whole other thing, and it will be awesome. I promise you, that will be awesome. And I had many people, many as in like 4 or 5, email me guessing what they thought episode 100 would be, and they were all right. So if you guessed and you emailed, then you were correct. I've also had some people email me and say, hey man, don't worry about episode 100. Just do your thing. It's cool. You know, just do what you've been doing. I've had a lot of those emails too. Thank you. I wish it were that easy. But I've been thinking about this for a long time. I've had people suggest, and I've even thought of this, I should do like a look back episode. Like hit the highlights and lowlights of the first 99 episodes of Coast to Coast Pinball. You know, like that really great time where I recorded an entire episode using the microphone on the laptop, not the headset mic that I normally use, because I didn't realize it wasn't selected properly. Like that was a highlight. Or that Welcome to the D-List episode where I broke down Wheel of Fortune with precision and skill and don't even remember doing it. Yeah, the highlights. No, we're not going to do that. That just sounds like a lot of editing, and I don't like listening to my old episodes. I will tell you this. We're coming to you not live from Middletown, New York on Tuesday night, August 12th. This show was started last night on Monday night, August 11th in New York City, and I got interrupted by somebody knocking at my hotel door, telling me I was too loud. Apparently my voice carries through walls, and they were very nice about it, and I paused it, and I said, I'll finish this tomorrow. And I pulled it back up today, and I just didn't want to. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to finish it. This show's never been that. I've never done this show as like in pieces and chunks. This show has almost always been start to finish, me just ranting. So episode 100 will be that. And it's too late at night for me to be doing this. But my saving grace is that I'm still sort of on Pacific time, and I'm out here on the East Coast right now, so it doesn't seem all that late to my body. So what are we going to do for episode 100? Well, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. We're just going to talk about pinball. It's only pinball, right? Right. It's kind of a big week. If you don't know, this is the week of the World Championships of Pinball. PAPA 17. The Professional and Amateur Pinball Association is holding the World Championships. They will crown the Pinball Champion of the World, the World Pinball Champion, however you want to say it, this week. Starting tomorrow, they have their Pin Brawl event, which I will not be there for. I will likely not be there till Friday Friday. I'm working. I have a job. So after work Friday, I'll be there. And I will be playing in the World Championships. So if you don't really know how Papa works, you got to know that they run the open tournament, the big tournament. And that's broken down into A division, B division, and C division. They also run a classics tournament each of the 3 qualifying days. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they run a complete classics tournament fully contained in that one day, which they also do the same thing with the juniors and seniors tournament. So A, B, and C division, right? I was telling somebody about Papa the other day that knows a little bit about pinball. And I said, yeah, I'm really excited. It's my first Papa. I can't wait to get there. The best players in the world. Papa facilities are legendary. There's 400 and some odd machines. I can't wait. There's going to be so much I can do for the show. There's cool people there. There's other podcast guys there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. Papa, yeah. And they're like, cool. So how are you going to do? I'm like, oh, well, I'm not actually that good at pinball. And he kind of looked at me sideways, and I said, well, I'm going to compete in the C division, so I should, I'll be able to hang. And he looked at me and said, you're going to play in the C division, and you host a podcast about pinball that is listened to by literally thousands of people every episode, and you're going to play in the C division. Have you no shame, sir? And I said, well, dude, I'm just not that good. And he said, well, why? How are you the expert on pinball if you're not good? And I corrected him very quickly and said, I'm not the expert on pinball. I never claimed to be an expert on pinball. I just like to talk. I have a lot of opinions. Doesn't mean I'm an expert on pinball. I'll do the work, and I'll put the effort in, but I'm not that great. So he really fought me on this, and he said, dude, you got to play in the A division. And I'm like, there's no reason for me to play in the A division. That's like me going out on a golf course and playing from the farthest back tees against the best players in the world. That's just dumb. It's not competitive. I would literally likely finish dead last. I mean, maybe, There is that little chance in pinball that is luck. There's some luck involved. Not a lot, granted. There's some luck, so you never know. But it would be silly for me to waste the money and play in the A division. And so he said, okay, fine. Don't play in A, play in the B division. Have some, some man up a little bit. I was like, no, dude, no. I've not played that much competitive pinball. And he finally shook his head and just called me some names that I won't say on the show. So I got all paranoid, and I thought, man, maybe I should be playing in one of the higher divisions. I'm Nate from Coast2Coast Pinball, blah, 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 which means literally nothing when it comes to playing pinball. So I went and looked at the Divisions of Play section on the papa.org website, on the Papa 17 page. And we're going to go over these right now. And we're going to use this opportunity to fit yours truly into the proper division of play at Papa 17 this weekend in Carnegie, Pennsylvania. Let's read the A division summary, shall we? A division. Division A. The main division of the Papa World Pinball Championship is the most renowned event in all of competitive pinball, annually deciding the title of World Champion. Well, that's exciting, right? That sounds like lots of fun. Here's the problem. I've seen these guys play. I've seen Bo and Karen's play in person. I've seen Steve Bowden. I've seen Adam Lefkoff. I've seen these guys play right in front of me. Different universe than how I play. Yeah, do they miss shots? Sure they miss shots. Just not very many of them. They're really good. They added in some kind of rules as to where you need to play division-wise at Papa. I don't know if this was added this year or not, but these are the restrictions that they've added in here. Players ranked between 1 and 99 in the World Pinball Player Rankings are restricted to Division A. So basically that's saying if you are one of the top 100 highest ranked players in the world of pinball, according to the IFPA, the International Flipper Pinball Association, and the World Pinball Player Rankings, or the Whopper Rankings as some people call them, you have to play in the A division. So I don't know that all 100 of those people, or 99 of those people as it may be, are coming to Papa, but let's say 10 of them do, and it will be more than 10 of them, but let's just say 10 of them do. Well, those 10 guys are going to whoop me. So I don't belong there. You're thinking in your head, well, Nate, where do you belong? What are you ranked? Well, let's go to the IFPA website and look up where yours truly is currently ranked in the world. Just did a little player search, typed in my name. Here I pop up, Nate Shivers. Current rank, 4,110th. It's a long way from 1 through 99, folks. It's a long, long way. I don't belong in Division A. Division A is the only division that allows you to gain more Whopper points for your standings, and they do that because it's the only truly open division of the World Championship, the big full, multi-day qualifying tournament. If there's restrictions on entering a tournament, you can't award Whopper points. And that means, so the Classics divisions, they earn Whopper points. Anybody can, enter the Classics division. My Nickel City local tournament in San Diego, anybody can enter that. So there's Whopper points awarded. A juniors tournament, anybody cannot enter a juniors tournament, so there's no Whopper points. So you see how that goes. So you only get the Whopper points for A division. I don't care. I'll be playing the Classics on probably Friday if I get there in time, and Saturday. So I'll get some, maybe some Whopper points there. But I'm just there to compete and be in the vibe and the aura that is Papa. All right, so let's go back and read about Division B. While Division B is frequently labeled as an intermediate division, this designation is relative to the rest of the Papa World Championships event. The skill level exhibited in this division is higher than the main divisions of the vast majority of tournaments throughout the world. Players with higher than average league or tournament experience, I'm going to repeat this, players with higher than average or tournament experience who are not yet capable of competing in the main division at the Papa World Championships, A division, play in Division B. All right. They've also added a restriction to Division B. Players ranked between 100 and 399 in the WPPR are restricted to Division B or higher. All right, so the top 1 through 99 are A division or higher, 100 through 399 are at B division or higher. Let's go back to where I was ranked. Let's see if, again, math with Nate, am I ranked higher than 399? 4,110. No. So there's no restriction on me being in the B division. It also said, as I read twice, players with below average league or tournament experience. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Division C. We'll get there. What I was saying, players with higher than average league or tournament experience who aren't yet capable of A play in Division B. So you're thinking, gee, Nate, do you have higher than average tournament experience? You do host a podcast. Well, let's look at my past results. Active results. Statistics it is on my player page here on ifpapinball.com. Total events, 5. I've played in 5 Whopper point qualifying tournaments. I do not believe that is higher than average. So we get down to Division C. Division C at the Papa World Championships is designed for players who are still new to competitive pinball. Players with below average league or tournament experience, like 5, or anyone who does not fit within the official descriptions of Division A or Division B caliber players should compete here. That's me. I got 2 thumbs pointing at myself. Division C. And I'm very proud of this. Very, very proud of Division C right now. That's where I'm playing. I can't wait. I'm very excited. One thing I didn't realize about Papa until I started diving in and reading the rules and whatnot is it's not like some of the other tournaments that I have played in, some of those other 5 tournaments I've played in, or other tournaments that I've watched at other shows that I didn't play in. Let's take, for instance, at the Southern Fried Game Room Expo, the tournament there was a Papa endorsed tournament. It was on the Papa circuit. And I did not play in the open side of it because I wasn't going to be there for the finals, and I figured there was no reason to do that. I did play in the Classics tournament because the finals were when I was going to be there. And if you'll remember back to that, I did miss the cutoff for finals by 1 spot. Top 24 made the cut. I finished 25th. You can see it online. It's there in black and white for you. The way that worked is they had a bank of machines, and you played, you bought entries, and an entry was some amount of money. I don't remember if it was $5 or $10 or whatever it was, or you got 3 for 10 or 4 for 20. I don't remember. But you bought entries, and you tried to get the best score you could on a spread of games, and they took your 5 best scores on any of the. I think there was 8 games. Maybe there's 9. Maybe it was 8. So your 5 best scores. Your score puts you in a ranking spot. So if I had the number 1 score on, let's say, Embryon, then I was awarded. I think they start out at I want to say 89 points, 90 points. It's like 100 points. But anyway, you get points awarded to you based on the ranking of your score, if that makes sense. Right? So that's why you can rank games against each other. Because you obviously just can't use total points on it because there's all these different games and people will be qualifying using different machines. So you rank it against the other scores. So if I have the first best score on Addams Family, the 50th best score on Indiana Jones, and the 110th best score on Twilight Zone, I get a lot of points for that high score on Addams Family, a small amount of points for Indiana Jones, and nothing for that really bad score on Twilight Zone. So I just assumed that's how Papa was too, but I was wrong. That is not how it works. Papa is encouraging consistent play in one shot. So the way Papa works is you buy an entry, and that entry is a 5-game entry. And so you're going to play 5 different machines on that entry and add up, and those 5 total scores and the points that they get based on where they rank counts as an entry. And so instead of getting to just play a certain game over and over and over again. Let's say I had 4 really good scores, but a really weak 5th score, and I was trying to boost it. I might just play whatever game in the bank had like what I thought was the most attainable spot to get a high score. Play that game over and over. That's not how this one works. This one, I'll have to play 5 different games on a sheet, and if I totally screw up one of them, that might screw up the whole entry because you're getting ranked based on this entire entry, and you can't split those scores out. It's kind of interesting. It's sort of like pressure-filled. I think in the C division where I will be playing, and I have to go look this up because I don't want to misspeak, because, that's what we do here. We're about facts at Coast to Coast Pinball. Facts and lines in the sand. So in Division C, an entry is, or a qualifying attempt, as they call it, is $10. So you have your basic registration fee, which is $5, and everybody has to pay $5. So then in the C division, I'll pay $10 and then go play 5 games, and I can void that if I want to. And then there's a very strategic reason why you might void an entry, which you have to think about. And I think I have this right. But I'll go play 5 games, and the total of those 5 scores, where they rank against all the other total scores in each game, that's my entry. That's my qualifying entry. So you have to play consistent all right together. And I like it. It's kind of cool. So why would you void an entry? It's $10. The B division, by the way, is $15, and the A division is $20. Classic divisions are going to be $15, juniors are $5, seniors are $10. Etc. So, why would you void an entry? Well, here's what could happen. Let's say the first game I pick, and I'm using just any game machines that I pick out of random. I'm not actually using the machines that they're going to have in the banks there. I'm just picking these out of the sky right now. Let's say I play Attack from Mars, and I score a really, really high score on Attack from Mars. Like, let's say I put up 2.7 billion. And that gives me the 3rd highest score in the C division on Attack from Mars. So I have the 3rd highest score. So I'm going to be getting a lot of points for that Attack from Mars entry. But let's say all 4 of the other games I play are really bad. Like, I don't do well on any of them. Say I totally screw it up on Fishtails. I totally screw up on whatever games I play. Just insta-drain all of them. Here's why I might void that. Instead of accepting those scores and verifying that those scores are good and letting those scores be entered, I might choose to void that because that entry's not going to qualify me for the finals because of the 4 bad scores. So my total for that qualifying entry is going to be low. But that first score, that Attack from Mars score, is getting posted. It's up there now. And I have to play against my own score in future entries. So when I go and enter again, I have to try and put up a score on Attack from Mars in relation to that score I still have. So I'm automatically trying to beat myself, sort of. And you might decide to be better off voiding that entry so that you don't have another spot to try and get above because you're going to get less points. So now if I put up 2.65 billion, I can't get to third, even though that's me up there. I'm at fourth because I'm below my own score, and possibly even farther down as more people put up higher scores. So there's some strategy involved in that, and it'll be interesting to be there and watch to see if people do it. And I'm very interested to talk to some of the guys I know that have played this many, many, many times and see if they do a lot of that or not. So that's what's going on as far as like the lead up for me to Papa. And the actual physical, like playing in it, where I'm playing, what I'm doing. But, that's not where it stops, because this week has been a little bit obsessive. And I'm going to take a drink of some tasty Vitamin Water Zero, pause the show, and be right back with you. I don't know if any of you guys have put this together. And I say guys, and I mean guys and girl. You know who you are. I don't know if you realize this or not, but I get a little, obsessive, worked up, focused on things. And when I decide I'm going to do something, I kind of like really go and do it. Like, I don't know, the podcast, the show, 100 episodes in like 13 and a half months. Silly, right? Ridiculous. 14 months now, sorry. Pretty crazy. This is what I do. I've always done it that way. I went from, not playing golf to shooting 85 in like a year. So this is what I do. I get into something, I want to do it well. And I hope that I've done these 100 episodes well. And I think people have been very appreciative. So we're going to go with that. Competitive pinball has not been something that I have really jumped on like that. Like, I love pinball. Man, I love playing pinball. I love buying games. Don't like selling them. Love buying games. I love working on the games to a degree. I've done some pretty cool stuff. I love cleaning them up, putting LEDs in them, making them shiny and bright, and playing them. I love all that. I love playing location pinball in places I've never been. I like always something new. I love pinball expos and festivals and shows where I can go and play tons of different games, meet all these people. It's fun. The competitive pinball thing started out for me at Nickel City Arcade, which has moved to a newer place and will have bigger tournaments, which is cool. In San Diego, the first time I went to one, and it was really fun, but I don't know, I kind of sucked. I finished fifth, but it was weak. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. Playing games, I don't know any of the rules. I'm like, I don't know how to hit the skill shot on Indiana Jones 4. Whatever. Then I played at the Texas show earlier this year, and no, I didn't play the Texas. See, I'm mixing my shows up. This is where we're at with this. I played at one of these shows. Was it Texas? It was not Texas. This is bad. This is called doing the show way too late at night. I played it at Never Drains in Southern California earlier this year. That's where I played. And it was really fun, but I got my butt kicked. I finished 50-something. But there's some of the best players in the world there, so it was okay. It was all right. Again, didn't really know the rules of those games all that well. Should have done some more research. Didn't do that. Did not play in Texas. Walked around that tournament a million times. Didn't do it. But then, I'll tell you where the turning point for me was. Because it was very specific where the turning point for me was. It was at the Southern Fried Game Room Expo in the Classics tournament. I had so much fun, not only the actual playing of it, but just being around that tournament. It was very enjoyable. I played a lot better. Like I said, I missed the B Division finals by one spot. And that's not knowing what I was doing on any of those games. That was just pure brute force getting those scores where they were. I didn't know how to play in those games. And that was asking the right questions to the right, better players who might have been standing around watching. So this is the big one. This is Papa. It's my first year there, and I sort of had some time to, get ready. And that's what I've been doing this week. So before I left for my flight, I had a really early Monday morning flight from San Diego to LaGuardia, actually. Stopped in Dallas. I downloaded gameplay videos from Papa's YouTube website on all of the games in the C Division and the Classics Division that were available, except keeping true to this, I did not download any videos, any gameplay sheets, any information whatsoever on one game, and that's Johnny Mnemonic. It's in the C Division Bank. And I will put some plays in on Johnny Mnemonic at some point just to see what happens. And so that's my little experiment. No studying whatsoever on that game, just going in cold, versus games I have now studied. So I watched these videos on my flights, and I watched them on my computer, and I had a bunch of tutorial videos, I think mostly from Bo and Cairns. I had some just straight gameplay videos where there really was no commentary, no rules given or anything. It's like, here's a dude playing Kiss. You can kind of see what they're going for. And then there was some sort of there was a really cool video on, I'm blanking on what game it was right now. But it was a video it was actually Pirates of the Caribbean, and it was someone's Papa qualifying attempt from last year. Maybe it was Pinburg or Papa, I don't recall. But it was the player, and I don't know if it was Bowen with him or somebody from Papa with them commenting on it. So it's kind of cool. The guy who played it is doing the commentary back over his game. And I'm really sorry, I'm forgetting his name right now. But I watched that. That was cool. A lot of great insight into why the player was doing what he was doing. And something really cool happened in that video, in particular that I wanted to point out before I forget. The player, it's going to drive me nuts if I don't figure out who this player was. Kaylee George. The player was Kaylee George. Got it. All right. So Kaylee George was doing commentary on this video of his own, video from previous in the year. And his basic strategy was to shoot, and here's where I get a little lost on pinball, because I know what I'm thinking about in my head. In my head, it's the roundy shot, and it has some name, starts with a T, I think, whatever that. I don't know the theme that well, so the roundy shot in the upper left corner. Know what I'm saying? Pirates of the Caribbean, roundy shot. I think you know what I mean. You shoot it and it spins around, you hit the switch a bunch of times, starts multi-ball, whatever. So his strategy was to just pound that over and over and over again, start multi-balls, do that, which sort of, we'll get to what this also does in a minute. But what was interesting, he did something that I find myself doing. He was doing that. He got some multi-balls going. By the way, he set the highest score for the entire weekend on this game in this video, and I think the video is about 17 minutes long. And somewhere in the middle of that game, he just stops doing it. He starts shooting at the pirate ship shot instead. And they actually kind of asked him, they said, hey, so did you think this was a good move here? And he goes, nope, just kind of thought it would be a good idea. Really bad strategy, stupid play. Don't know why I was doing that. I do that all the time. I think, okay, I'm gonna play Twilight Zone, and I'm gonna play this only for shooting. We're gonna go for gumball and power. That's what we're gonna do, gumball and power. And I start doing it, and I'm like, ooh, hey, look, dead end lit up. I'm gonna shoot over at that, and then I drain off the left side, or something like that. It's like, ooh, look, a bird. And he did that. He's obviously a top tier player who set the high score for the whole weekend and qualified for the finals. So that's pretty amazing to watch him kind of do that. Now, he was good enough to pull all that off and not, totally blow it, obviously. I'm actually looking to see where Mr. George is currently ranked. He's ranked 14th in the world, only 14th. So I'm sure Kaylee George will be at Papa this weekend. And if I am introduced to him, I will tell him how much fun I had watching this video. But what it also did, and many of these tutorial videos do in some of the other games we'll talk about here in a minute, it exposes the game when you're talking about playing them in tournament play for points versus walking up to oh, hey, look, cool, it's the Addams Family. And I use the Addams Family as a good example of this for good reason. So I have always been a player who loved the idea of getting through a game, getting to see all of a game, getting to see all the things light up, see all the things go into motion, see all the inserts flash when they're going to flash, all the DMD animations to happen, all the sounds. I always like that. That's what I really enjoy generally about pinball. When you're playing a tournament, you cannot have that mindset because all that matters is the number on the screen at the end. How you get there doesn't matter. If you had some shot that you could just hit over and over, some ramp shot, and it was 1,000 points every time you hit it, and you could just hit it for an hour, hey man, go for it. That'll get you there. But generally, the pinball gods, chance, the bounce, will break you. It won't let you do that. So you've got to find a way to get a high score with as little risk and inside your comfort zone with a I don't say a quick way to do it, but in a way that efficiently gets a high score is the best thing I could say to that. And it kind of exposes some of these games in that regards because, older games, the classic games, I think on a lot of levels are just better for tournaments because that's all you were trying to do was to rack up scores. And you were trying to light certain things to be able to rack up higher scores faster. Well, new games have sort of a different mindset to the design. If you look at a game like, Twilight Zone, yeah, that game definitely, you're trying to put up a high score, but you're also trying to get lost in the zone. And getting lost in the zone may not be your quickest way to the highest score. No, it can be, but it may not be. If you look at a game like Lord of the Rings, I don't know if that's the greatest tournament game. There's so many ways to go with that game and modes to complete, things to do. Not really the best way to just rack up a high score. And I think a lot of modern games, as we start designing with a little bit more of intention for the home player, are going to possibly, without some careful thought into the programming, lend themselves a little bit better to just the casual play and the fun play and owning the game and not getting sick of it. Whereas games that are a little more simplistic or just maybe brutally hard, sometimes I think you could use that as a way to work well for tournaments too. I'm thinking of AC/DC here because it's a game with tons of modes, but just the game's hard. That type of game works really well for a tournament situation because you're just trying to get scores. It's just scores. It's who can hit shots to get scores. So it really is interesting to watch a tutorial on a game like Addams Family where Bowen Kearns, one of the best players in the world, takes apart this game and he says, we're going to play this game two different ways. We're going to play it, one, the multi-ball route, because that's what he feels is the best, safest way to rack up a high score. He said, and then we're going to play it going for the mansion modes and rack up a high score. He feels in this video, and this video is a few years old, he feels the multi-ball avenue is the safer, more conservative way to try and get the high score. What's funny is he puts up a much higher score. In fact, he puts up the grand champion score on the Papa Addams Family's playing, going through the mansion rooms. Very interesting. And I watched that video with a lot of amazement because when he does the mansion room avenue of gameplay, it's like two shots over and over and over again. It's hit the electric chair when it's lit to get a mansion room, get the ball up the bear claw ramp or whatever it is, the center ramp, which returns it down to the right flipper, and that right in lane rollover lights up the electric chair again, and then shoot that again. And he goes through this whole thing about how it's easier to shoot it from the left flipper, so he keeps post-passing over from the right flipper to the left flipper and then shooting it straight on from the left flipper because he says when you miss, it's more likely going to shoot back down to that left flipper than when you miss with the right, you're going to get sideways and possibly go down the middle. But then you see what happens. He starts missing that shot from the left flipper a lot, and by the end of his gameplay, Bowen Kearns is mostly shooting that shot from the right flipper. He just feels more comfortable with it. And that's sort of where the player plays into it too. It's like, yes, he acknowledges the safer shot is from the left, but I think he also felt that the video thing is pressuring him a little bit to not just sit there and post-pass over and play real slow and conservative on video. So he's just shooting it from the right, but I think he probably hits it more often from the right. And that lights him a mansion room, and then the ball kicks out, and he shoots the center ramp, and just over and over and over again. He tours the mansion, and he gets, 2/3 of the way through touring it for a second time, and he puts up $323 million. Very interesting. But it's only two shots. It sort of exposes the Addams Family as, hey, yeah, look at all this stuff. There's magnets, there's the power, there's lights, there's a hand grabbing the ball, but really, you can see it all with two shots, or at least put up a high score and hit all the modes. The other way he does it is with the multi-balls, where he's shooting... let me get this right here. So to get the multi-balls, you're trying to spell greed by hitting the bookcase. He's backhanding the bookcase with the right flipper, bumping it over to the left with the upper right flipper as it falls off, sometimes also hitting the greed shot again with that upper right flipper, and then controlling the ball back down to the right flipper and doing that again until he spells it, and then he's hitting not the tunnel, but I want to call it the dungeon shot, but the shot behind the bookcase, whatever that's called, which is a very tight shot, and a shot I've never been fully comfortable with on Addams Family, but I am now. We'll get into that in a second. So, and that gets into these multi-balls, where then he's trying to, L1 stance, cradle, and shoot up the thing ramp, around to the upper right flipper, and then hit the side ramp for the jackpot. That's his whole goal there. I think that all takes a lot more skill. I think that's harder, and I can confirm that because guess what I've been doing for the last 2 nights? I've played more Addams Family in the last 2 nights than I have my whole entire life. So I watched all these videos, and I took notes, and I have notes, especially on games I was already sort of familiar with, like the Addams Family, like Batman Dark Knight, like Attack from Mars. So I got to New York. Like I was saying, I took my flight. I watched all these videos. Learned a lot. I mean, I learned a lot. More than I can remember. I've watched some of them twice since then because I wanted to go back. Because it started all blurring together to me, like what you do with what and which game is which. So last night, I got to my hotel, and I was very close to Brooklyn. And I don't know if you remember what's in Brooklyn, listeners of Coast2Coast Pinball, but one of the best collections of pinball machines in North America, and certainly the best collection of pinball machines in a laundromat in North America, is in Brooklyn, and that's the Sunshine Laundromat.
Trip reports.
Yes, a trip report. A trip report about mostly 2 machines. Now, let me say this. I walked into the Sunshine Laundromat and was kind of like blown away because they'd switched some things up since I had last visited. Now, they've added Big Bang Bar, Cactus Canyon, Safecracker. I think there's a few other additions, but it was just like, their list is amazing. AC/DC Back in Black. So they have AC/DC Back in Black, Attack from Mars, Big Bang Bar, Cactus Canyon, Circus Voltaire, Funhouse, Indiana Jones Pinball Adventure, Medieval Madness, Monster Bash, Safecracker, Scared Stiff, Spider-Man Black, Star Trek The Next Generation, Terminator 2, The Addams Family, Theater of Magic, Twilight Zone, Whitewater. I mean, come on. That is a just vulgar display of A-list titles. It's so freaking awesome. And they're all 50 cents. So I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta play this Big Bang Bar, right? There's only a few of them and it's there, so I played it. Big Bang Bar, awesome, loved it. Cool. It's pretty, whatever. Not my priority right now. I was there to play 2 games. I was there to play Attack from Mars, and I was there to play Addams Family, because those are both in the C division at Papa this week, and that's what I'm working on. So, I played a bunch of Attack from Mars. It is in the back row, like behind the main row of games, tucked in behind all the washers and dryers, and it was incredibly humid in the New York greater metropolitan area the last couple days. And it was very warm inside the Sunshine Laundromat, and I was dying back there, sweating and hot. And I posted some good scores, like better scores than I used to, because I watched the tutorial video, and I got some good ideas, and I got some good insight. You just got to make your shots, though. You can't miss that center ramp over and over and over again, which is the lock ramp on Attack from Mars. To start multi-ball, you need to make that shot. And I just brick that shot all the time. That game is so tough because one of the main things you're trying to do is hit the saucer shots, which, it's straight up the middle. So you lose a lot of balls straight down the middle. I think I got a pretty good working strategy for Attack from Mars. I was putting up, a billion pretty consistently on that, which won't win me any Papa A divisions, but it should be a good score for me in the C division. Yes, I'm that obsessive that I've been going back and looking at people's scores in past tournaments to see where my scores match up. Granted, the games at Papa will likely be set up way harder than anything I've run into, and I ran into some issues just with Addams Family night tonight that I'll tell you about in a second. So then I broke the Attack from Mars. I hit the tee shot. I bricked that tee shot again, which is the brick spot right next to the lock shot I was trying to hit over and over. And the little green tee target cover popped off and flew to the back into the rollover lanes. And it was during multi-ball. And one of the balls actually landed in the upside down thing, so it was like cupped it, so it was sitting in this little thing like it was on a trophy or something, which was pretty funny. So the manager, owner, I'm not sure, nice guy, came and gave me my 50 cents back and turned the game off because he had to fix it. So I broke Attack from Mars. Sorry, Brooklyn, it's broken. I'm sure it's fixed by now. Games are in fantastic shape here, by the way. So I went back to my Addams Family and I played a bunch, and it was interesting because I was able to backhand that vault shot really, really well. I was able to backhand the bear trap ramp, bear claw ramp, whatever it's called, really well from the right flipper on the Addams Family, like Bowen was kind of doing in the tutorial. And I was all dialed in. I was scoring big scores, and I was like, yeah, this is good. I got it. A game can also be sort of brutal sometimes because, there's no ball save on Addams Family ever. So, if you get a really bad, stupid bounce or you catch something wrong when you're trying to do a live catch, you're just out of luck. But I really fully understood Addams Family, maybe for the first time, and I like the game. I like it. Like, I've been too hard on the Addams Family, and I'll admit that. I'm big enough to admit I've been a little too hard on the Addams Family. There's some brilliance in the design of that game. Absolute brilliance that maybe I need to admit more. So yes, I bow down to Pat Lawler. Addams Family's amazing. Thank you. It's so cool. But I'm playing for points and score here. So I worked on it. And I did pretty good, but I was tired. I'd flown all day and I had to bail. So night 1, I felt was pretty good. I went back to my hotel last night. I had the fiasco trying to record episode 100. I tried to tell the story once already. I feel like I've done all this before. It's deja vu. But that's okay. So today, I got done with work, I don't know, about 6:30. And I found myself in Manhattan at 6:30 p.m. What to do? Oh, there's a little place called Modern Pinball New York City. And I was very excited for Modern Pinball because I knew they had an Addams Family, and I knew they had a Batman Dark Knight. And I knew that at one point they had a Kiss, and I was like, yeah, this is excellent. They've got a bunch of games that I can play that are going to be in the division, C division. So I got there, and I was very disappointed Batman Dark Knight is no longer in the lineup. They have an amazing lineup there at Modern Pinball New York City. I'm trying to pull that up for you right now on the fly as best I can because I should give them props. Very good dudes, guys in there working on machines. Another just fantastic selection of games. Currently, the game list looks like this: AC/DC Let There Be Rock, LE, Addams Family, Avatar, Avengers, limited edition Avengers, by the way, in case you're wondering. Bonsai Run, Bram Stoker's Dracula, CSI, Demolition Man, Dr. Dude, Family Guys, Fishtails, Funhouse, Kiss, Metallica, Monster Bash, Mustang, Punchy the Clown, your little Alvin G love, Scared Stiff, Spider-Man, Star Trek, Terminator 2, The Simpsons Pinball Party, Theater of Magic, Transformers LE, which I believe was turned off, Twilight Zone, Whirlwind, Whitewater, Wizard of Oz Limited Edition, World Cup Soccer, and World Poker Tour. Pretty awesome lineup of games. So I paid $19 for the 3-hour block. You can pay $12 for 1 hour, $19 for 3, and I bought the 3-hour block. Didn't use all of it because I did burn myself out and I had to drive to Middletown. So where did I go first? Well, first I went to the Kiss machine because that's in the Classics division. And I thought, you know what? I need to have a go-to in the Classics division that I really understand and really know. And I quickly learned something I had thought watching the gameplay video. Not a lot to that game. Basically, you gotta hit the ball in the corners through the spinners and get it up there, and don't drain. And maybe hit the drop targets on the left. That's kind of it, right? Am I missing something here? Rock and roll all night, party every day. Oh yeah. I mean, it's kind of what I was seeing at least. So I did that a bunch. I scored. I think my highest score was 125,000. So I don't even know what that means. So we got that. I got that going for me. 125K on Kiss. So I went to Addams Family. And very quickly, realization set in on me. This game played nothing like the game from the night before. Like nothing. The kickouts went to different spots. The flippers felt completely different. I could not backhand the vault shot. The flipper was not strong enough to backhand the bear ramp thingy, I was having problems. I was scoring like below 20 million consistently on this game. But I did not give up, and I worked hard, and I tried over and over and over again. Finally, I think I had a high score of about 85 million. I was having a tough time. All my strategy was sort of not working for me. I was bricking shots. I was not able to cradle and pass balls. A terrible time post-passing, trying to do all the Bone Karen's tutorial stuff. And it really made me realize that I'm going to get to Papa in a couple days, and nothing's going to play like I've ever played it before. And it's going to be expensive learning it, how they go. But that'll be the fun of it, right? So I'm pretty dialed in. I've watched a bunch of the Wheel of Fortune tutorial. I've realized that I don't like anything about that game. I don't like the rule set about that game. I don't like the way that game looks. It's on the D list for a reason. Bowen loves the game. I mean, Bo and Karen's tutorial that they posted last month on the Papa website of Wheel of Fortune, he like loves it. And, you know, there's some cool stuff going on. I will say this, the rule set, people always say, oh, it's not finished, whatever. There's a lot going on there. There is a lot to do on that game. And I don't know if that's one of the ones I'm going to focus on or not. So looking at the C Division where I will be living. Jackbot, I know that game pretty well. I think that game's pretty straightforward. You know, you need to start the multi-balls by hitting the eyes. You can hit the upper left little, whatever that bonus thing is. Those are the main shots you need to play for. Johnny Mnemonic, I don't know anything about it. I've played it like 3 times in my life. I'm not going to read about it. I know that there's Keanu Reeves, and I know that there's a hand. And there's some sort of grid. And the fact that I don't know much about that grid probably does not bode well for me. Now, in full disclosure, I may play that game Friday a few times, post some scores, see where we end up, and then go cram on it Friday night if it seems like I can play well on it. We'll see. Pirates of the Caribbean. I think I know what to do there. Not a game I love, but could be a game. Mr. Cayley George showed me the way. That might be one of the ones I focus on. Future Spa. I actually plan on Future Spa being one of the games I play a bunch. I got something about me in the classics right now. I'm kind of into it. Batman Dark Knight. I've never been very good at that game. I have a very good understanding of the rules. Bowen's tutorial on that is so good. There's the whole score a billion points in 35 shots thing that's out there on Batman Dark Knight. Google it if you want. I'm not good enough to make those 35 shots, so I don't think that's an option for me. Corvette. Boy, that side shot is so key. There's a side flipper shot that is just really, really key in Corvette. It's a tight game. I typically don't fare really well in super tight games like Corvette. Addams Family's kind of like that too, where a lot of the play is down in the bottom half. So we'll see. Addams Family, definitely one that I'm going to work on. Wheel of Fortune, we'll see. Attack from Mars, definitely. And I think F-14 Tomcat. That's actually a game I've played a fair amount. I know where the points are on that game. So we'll see. I actually don't know how many games you need to put in on a qualifying attempt. In my head, it's 5. They use that as an example, but that's not been confirmed anywhere. It's a 9-game bank. If I can do math, it's actually a 10-game bank. So I'm guessing it's 5. Maybe it's 4. I don't know. So we'll see. But that's what I got looking ahead at me at Papa 17. And very excited to do that. So wish me luck, everyone. So that's episode 100. Me talking about Papa 17. That's it. Nothing special. Maybe it is special. I don't know. Maybe it's lit. And it's special when lit. See what I did there? Anyway, 100 episodes, man. Thank you guys so much. I've had just some amazing email over the last couple weeks via Facebook and through the Coast2Coast Pinball at gmail.com. Just some awesome emails. Tons of shirts being purchased. Thank you. I'm not going to be mailing any shirts for about another week because I won't be home. So if you bought a shirt, sit tight. I got your order. You'll get it. I think there's a few that Teresa's going to be mailing herself. So hopefully she gets that done if you're waiting too long. The new shirts are posted on the website. We've got red shirts. We've got gray ringer t-shirts. We've got dark gray with blue logo shirts. They're $16 in the U.S. If you're international, just shoot me an email. Some really generous I hate to use the word donations, but contributions to the show that were more than you needed to do. But thank you. You know who you are. I appreciate it. All the well wishes for Teresa and I, thank you very much. We're very much in love. I'm one of those lucky fools who has, like, it's so cliche, but like my best friend is at home. It's her. She's amazing. The fact that I get to come home to her is just, that's all I could ask for. So 100 episodes in, I'm having a ton of fun. I love this show still. Not going anywhere. Got 100 more coming up. Thank you. And we will talk to you again probably from Pittsburgh. So until then, go play some pinball. And if you're going to be at Papa, please find me, say hello, and maybe you'll get on the show. Later.
There's more where that came from.